What's going on, hybrid shooters? It's Jason Vong, and today I'm going to show you some of the common techniques that I use on a gimbal to get some amazing shots, how and when I use them, and the camera focus settings that complement each of those techniques. For today's demonstration, I'll be using the Zhiyun Crane Plus and the Sony Alpha cameras. And the reason why I'm using the Sony Alpha cameras is because they have some of the best autofocusing systems out there. You can literally track a moving subject at like a 1.8 aperture. Plus, it's lightweight and it's small. It's perfect for these one-handed gimbals like the Zhiyun Crane. And for the best results, I only use the native Sony E-mount lenses. I do not adapt any lenses when I need to rely on the camera's autofocus. Speaking of autofocus though, let's get the settings out of the way first. For a more in-depth guide on how each of these settings work, see my full video autofocus tutorial by clicking up here or see the description box below. Now for the autofocus speed settings, I keep them all on normal. If you're filming anything high speed, actiony stuff, you might want to change these to fast and responsive. Next up is understanding how each of these focus area works, and we'll be combining these with the crane techniques to nail focus on our shots. The first one we'll take a look at is wide, and this is where the camera looks at the entire screen to find focus, and it's usually whatever is closest to it or whatever stands out the most. Next up is zone focusing, and this narrows down the focus to a specific section of the screen, a mode that I personally use the most. Center is the camera focusing in the small area in the middle of the screen. Spot focusing just focuses specifically in one tiny area of your choosing. You have an option of either small, medium, or large spot. Now, a couple of other autofocus settings you should be aware of: face detection autofocus and center lock-on autofocus. Face detection autofocus is very self-explanatory. The camera will lock on focus to the closest face or a registered face on the screen. Center lock-on autofocus, the camera sets a tracking box on the subject so it will continually track them until it's cancelled or the subject walks out of frame. Now, I don't use this one too often, but just know that it's there and you're more than welcome to see if this works for you. Alright, so the first technique that I'm going to show you is push in and pull out. And this is a great way to add a bit of movement when filming inanimate objects. You simply just push in or pull out. Or you can walk into something or walk out of it. And the best mode to be in for this type of technique is in lock mode. And to get to that, you just have to press the mode button once. Now, the push and pull out technique is perfect for doing establishing shots. So if you're filming buildings, you want to use the focus area wide and make sure you turn off face detection so the camera doesn't accidentally pick up focus on some random stranger's face. If you're filming objects such as a wedding dress or arches or statues, then you might want to start narrowing down the focus by either choosing zone focusing or spot focusing. Next technique is orbiting, and it's another great way of adding motion when filming inanimate objects or subjects that aren't doing too much movement. It's also a dynamic way of showing more of the surrounding as well. To perform the orbiting technique, you want to be in pan follow mode, so as I'm going in a circle, the gimbal will follow. As far as focus settings go, I would use zone in the middle or center spot focusing. Alright, so the next technique is track forward, and it's a great way to follow a moving subject that is moving freely or following a moving subject and trying to achieve that symmetrical look. If you're tracking a subject that is moving freely, then you want to use pan follow mode just in case they make any sort of twists and turns. But if you're going for that straight on symmetry look, use lock mode. Now for autofocus settings, I would use zone focusing in the middle or center spot focusing. Next technique is track backwards. It's the same thing as track forward, but you're following the subject from the front, so you're essentially walking backwards. And this is a great way to give a match action shot to the previous technique, or track a host that is delivering their lines. The modes would be very similar to track forward, be in pan follow mode if you know your subject will be making any twists and turns, or lock it down if you know they'll be walking in a straight path. For focus, you want to be in wide focusing and turn on face detection. Now, if there are other faces in the background, then you want to start narrowing down the focus to zone. Next technique is the fake slider technique, and this is great for when you're in a pinch and need that quick sliding shot. It's also a great way to review something as well. To do this, you want to lock down your gimbal and just move from left to right. Now, I personally find it the best when your gimbal is in inverted mode. Now, to really emphasize that sliding movement, you can hide behind a foreground before sliding out to review the subject that's behind it. For focus, you might want to use the zone focus and place it in a direction where you'll be sliding to, or grab the focus of your subject first before sliding out to them. That way you can avoid any sort of autofocus mishaps with the foreground. Next up is the fake jib shot, and it's also another great way to review something as well. It's very similar to the fake slider shot, except you'll be moving the camera up. The gimbal mode you want to be in is again lock and keep your focus to the center or zone. Lastly is the POV mode, and this is exclusive to the Crane Plus and the Crane 2. It's a great way to add a bit of a wow factor to your shot, though I would not abuse it though. Generally, for these types of shot, I would keep it on wide focusing. Let me know what future tutorial you guys want to see with the Crane and the Sony Alpha camera in the comments down below. And don't forget to like this video if you guys enjoy it, and subscribe for more tips and tricks such as this one. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.